Hey everybody! So this morning we got the September jobs number. Payrolls up 248,000, increases in just about every sector of the economy. That number was pretty much in line with expectations. I think what caught the market a little bit by surprise was the drop in the unemployment rate to 5.9%, and that was the lowest level since July 2008. However, looking a little bit behind those figures, we see that the labor force participation rate, that dropped down to 62.7 from 62.8. And by the way, if you go back and if you look at July or September 2008, labor force participation rate was something like 66.2%. So we've seen a big shrinkage in the civilian labor force. I think a lot of people basically just giving up on their job search, and that makes the unemployment rate come down. So a lot of what we have seen in terms of the decline in the unemployment rate has been due to people just giving up. Now, on another note, there's been a lot written about the Bill Gross resignation from Pimco, his move over to Janus. And this morning on Business Insider, there was an article by Joe Wiesenthal, who's a contributor writer over there, talked about when Gross really started to kind of spiral down in terms of his performance, and that goes back to 2011 when he exited the Treasury market, and it was based on his famous call, who's going to buy them now? At the time, the Fed was ending its program of quantitative easing, and Gross thought, well, there's going to be nobody to buy Treasuries. Now, Wiesenthal, in his post, in his column, he talks about that Paul Krugman has recently been pointing this out, the mistakes made by Gross, kind of not understanding that the money is always going to be there, the dollars are always going to be there to buy Treasuries. But look, right here on MikeNormanEconomics, it was myself and Matt Franco, a contributor here, who not this year, but right back in 2011, at the time when Bill Gross tweeted that ridiculous comment, we were the ones who were all over it. We were the ones who exposed Gross's misunderstanding of the very bond market where he was proclaimed the king. Okay, so it was on MikeNormanEconomics. It wasn't Krugman. It wasn't Business Insider. We had it on the very day that he tweeted those comments. We wrote about it many times in the ensuing years since 2011, leading right up until this year. And the fact of the matter is, when he tweeted that and we explained it, the money to buy Treasuries, the dollars to buy Treasuries, comes from government spending itself. We had it first, Joe Wiesenthal, Paul Krugman talking about it maybe now, but we spoke about it at the very time that Gross uttered those words. And by the way, we also made the prediction, Matt Franco and I, that Gross's performance was going to go down, and that he was going to see Pimco was going to see huge client outflows in the billions. So we called it right here on MikeNormanEconomics. That's right.